Detroit Lions select.
Welcome to Detroit Lions Live, presented by Pink Energy. I'm Dannie Rogers, and I am back in the Allen Park facility after spending a couple of toasty days out there in Las Vegas covering the 2022 NFL Draft. Round one, night one is over with. Detroit Lions getting 2 picks out of the first round. Second overall going to Michigan defensive end Aiden Hutchinson. And then this was the thriller of the night. Lions were slated at that number 32 overall pick in the first round. They centered about 3 draft picks last night around jumping up 20 spots to grab Jameson Williams, the wide receiver out of Alabama, at spot number 12. So Williams and Hutchinson are the 2 newest Detroit Lions that have just walked into the Detroit Lions practice facility building. So they've had their tour, they've held up their jerseys with their last names on the back of them. It's all starting to feel a little bit more real. And you're going to hear from them coming up in this show as well. I sat down with both of those draftees. You'll also hear from Tim and Mike, DetroitLions.com writers, who are going to give their analysis of round 1 and look towards what is tonight. Rounds 2 and 3, Detroit Lions with 2 picks so far, barring any trades. So to get the show started, we do have a trivia question for all of y'all. We like to get you guys involved, test your knowledge of Detroit Lions. And this is a first one. I feel like people are going to get this one. When was the last time the Lions took a wide receiver in the first round of the NFL draft? Just, think about that. We'll divulge in those answers coming up next. But last night, we had a great turnout for our Play GM segment where the fans at home got to, tell us what they're thinking from a general manager perspective. And you guys get to play GM once again tonight. This is your chance to showcase your general manager skills. Scan the circular QR code looping on the lower right side of your screen to make your GM selections. 5 questions, here they are. First off, which side of the ball would you select at number 46 overall? Offense or defense? Question number 2, which position would you select at number 46 overall? Is it quarterback, linebacker, defensive back, or other? Question 3, which side of the ball would you select at number 97 overall? Offense or defense? Question number 4, which position would you select at number 97 overall? Quarterback, linebacker, defensive back, or other? And last but not least, who is your favorite round 2 pick in Lions history? Is it Jason Hanson, Chris Spielman, Kevin Glover, or Lem Barney? All right, there it is. Scan that QR code to make your selections. We'll reveal the results later in the show. I'm now joined by Michigan defensive end Aiden Hutchinson, number 2 overall to the Detroit Lions. Aiden, I know you have flown into Detroit Airport numerous times, being from Michigan. How different did that flight this morning home, though, feel?
It felt different. Recently when I've been flying into Detroit, I didn't know that was going to be my home. So, flying in this morning, it was great knowing that, I'm going to be here for a while.
Mm-hmm. I know you told me last night you were not sure which team you were going to, but when you saw the Detroit area code pop up on your phone,
right,
what went through your mind?
It was so much relief. Obviously there's a lot of weird draft buzz that happens right before the draft, and it's a lot of smoke in the mirror stuff. But man, when I got that call and I saw the Detroit area code, I was just so grateful. And I was sitting there, I could just take that deep breath and just and take the call. But I was so happy.
Why were you relieved?
Because I wanted to be a Lion. That's why.
Yeah. What instilled that in you growing up very close to here at Allen Park?
Right. I just think Detroit sports are so iconic, and I think I love the fact that now I'm able to be close to home. It's going to make the transition easier. A bunch of my best friend, my roommate, I'm going to be able to play golf with him a bunch this summer. Like there's a lot of great things in coming with this, but especially just being in the Detroit sports, being a Lion, and just doing everything I can to start winning ball games.
Mm-hmm. 7 miles down the road, you were playing high school ball at Divine Child.
Yep.
Did it ever cross your mind Do you remember if you thought about being a Detroit Lion then?
You know, people make jokes about it. Like my friends back in high school always used to joke about me being a Lion, but you know, you kind of laugh at it. But you know, now I'm sitting here, and really, it's a reality, and it's so crazy to me that I'm in this position, and I still can't believe that I'm actually. I will be playing in Detroit. Like it's still something that I can't quite wrap my head around.
How much did it help you to wrap your mind around it once you held up that jersey a few moments ago with your last name on it?
That definitely made it a little easier for sure. Definitely to see the colors, see the name. It was weird for sure.
It's Welcome Aidan on all the boards along with Jameson. What was your first impression getting off the plane? You hopped into a nice Bronco, and then you got to see Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes again.
Yeah, I mean, it was just surreal. You know, like you said, seeing my name around here. I know. I just feel like. The support I've had is just overwhelming from all the people in Michigan. Everyone's so happy to have me back, and you know, maybe not the Michigan State fans, but you know, maybe we can all unite as one now. Maybe I'm the connector between all of Michigan sports now, but. Man, the support has been amazing.
I love that you kind of keep taking little jabs at your dad, Chris, who obviously had a great career at Michigan, and you happen to break his sack record. How special is this as a family, the Hutchinsons, to go through all of this with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's so great, you know, that I keep them so involved in my life, you know, every single one of them. So I just think at this level, it's really hard to trust a lot of people. So that's why I keep them close. You know, they've been with me since day one. So, you know, being able to kind of experience things like this with them, like the first NFL interview down there, like just things like that, you know, to take them along on this journey with me, it's great. And
you mentioned it, you're down the street from Michigan, Ann Arbor. How close will you stay in contact with the program and be able to go down there and see your old teammates? Well, you know, I'm gonna be close now, so definitely I'll definitely pop in there every once in a while just to see how the boys are doing, make sure everyone's doing good, and just do what I can to give back to you know, the boys in blue. We have seen you do numerous interviews. What is something that people might not know about you, Aiden Hutchinson, yet? Okay, I'm about to say it, which is not many people know, but I have 2 cats back home. I'm not a cat guy. I love animals. And let me explain. I was gonna get a dog, right? Okay. This was in season this past year. What kind of dog? I don't know. I wanted like a bigger one, but like I didn't know. This was very, you know, premature. I was thinking, and but I was sitting there. I was like, you know, I need an animal. I love animals, but something more low maintenance. So I ended up getting a cat, and then I was like, well, he needs a friend when I'm gone. So next thing you know, I got 2 cats in my apartment, and then but I'm sure next offseason I'm getting a dog, so people won't tab me as a cat guy because I know cat guys get a bad rap. So next offseason I'll have a dog, 2 cats. I'm gonna have like a farm in my house. Oh, most importantly, what are the cats' names? It's Mitty and Momo. Okay. Boy and girl. They're the best. You mentioned it. You'll have a little petting farm at your home. That's right. Are you sticking at home with mom and dad down the road, or are you getting a new place? You know, I very well could save some money, stay in my parents' house, but no, I'm definitely gonna go somewhere. That's definitely priority number 1. Once I get out of here, is go, you know, search up some real estate, look at some property for sure. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I love that. Okay, I think that's all I got for you. What your biggest message to Detroit Lions fans that I know are pretty ecstatic to have you here? Yeah, you know, I would say my biggest message to all the Detroit fans out there is, you know, just know that, you know, I'm going to give this thing everything that I got. You know, and I can't promise you anything, but just know that, you know, whatever the outcome may be, know that you know, I really put my heart and soul into this whole thing, and I'm gonna have no regrets while I'm doing it. Beautiful. Spoken like a Detroit Lion.
Hey, it's Brad Holmes, GM of the Detroit Lions. How you doing, man? I'm doing great, man. Hey, ready to be a Lion? All right, man. We're about to pick you right here, man. Hey, you went all the way to Vegas, man. You should have stayed home. You could just caught an Uber over here, man. Hey, man, congratulations, man. I'm happy for you and your family, man. You'll be a big part of what we're doing going forward, all right? Let's disrupt and get after the quarterback, all right? Hey, let me get you on the phone with our head coach, Dan Campbell, all right?
Hutch. Hey, man, congratulations. Listen, your dream just started, man. This isn't the end, this is the beginning. You know what I mean? Come in here and you help us win games. Just be you. And let's turn this ship around. All right, brother. Here, I'm going to pass you to Sheila. Hold on.
Aiden, congratulations. This is awesome. Well, we're thrilled. There's a lot of excited people here in this room, and some of my family's here, and everyone's excited. So, great. We're anxious for you to get back to Michigan. Yeah. Good. Awesome. Well, we're really excited. We know you're going to do great things here. So, congratulations.
Hey, congratulations again, man. Enjoy it tonight, all right? All right now. Okay. Yes.
That's conviction. That's conviction.
Those raw behind-the-scene moments typically win the entire draft. You just saw General Manager Brad Holmes make the call to Aiden Hutchinson, who was standing by in Las Vegas. He said as soon as he saw that Detroit area code 313, he knew exactly who was calling him. Then, of course, head coach Dan Campbell sharing some words with him, and then owner Sheila Hamp getting in on it. And we have plenty of more behind-the-scenes coverage where that comes from. But Aiden Hutchinson is going to get the chance to play for defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn here in Detroit, who's proven that he can develop players and he can be very aggressive, something that the relentless edge rusher out of Michigan, Aiden Hutchinson, he will take to extremely well. And we got a chance to catch up with General Manager Brad Holmes and defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn last night, moments after the Detroit Lions decided to select Aiden Hutchinson number 2 overall. Take a listen.
We deserve this player. We do. And this player deserves us also as a coaching staff. So, again, we're excited. We're excited. This is a good time for Detroit. He's relentless. Obviously, he can get to the quarterback. Man, he plays the run really well. And, man, he is a Detroit Lion through and through. And that is no doubt about that player. And, again, that's why I say we deserve this player. This player deserves us also. I mean, it's just a true fit. And when we're looking at this guy, I mean, the first thing I try to do with each player is, man, where can I play this player and how can we get the best out of this player and how can we make this player successful? And those are some of the things that we thought about. So, man, he's a tough, aggressive, violent, type of guy that we need. And obviously we could do a lot of things with this player. So again, we're excited to have him. Man, I went back and watched his freshman tape. And I don't know if you guys ever watched it, but that's when he was playing the 3 technique for the most part. And so I'm texting Dan like, man, there's more versatility to this player than we probably give him credit for. So I make a cut up and just show it to him that he's played in that position. So now, man, these things are just spinning to me defensively. Man, how can I use this guy in other situations? And, those things showed up. So, I like the player a lot. We like the player a lot. Man, we're glad to have this player. We really are. But I would say this, and I'm a big believer in taking the best player available. But it's always good when that best player fits a need. And I think every team will say that, and every coach will say that. But I do believe in that, man, and he was one of the better players on our board, if not the best. So we picked the player that we wanted, and obviously we're going to continue to go through this draft, and whenever it's our pick again, whoever that best player is, that's who we'll select.
Yeah, well, he checks a lot of boxes that we look for. From an intangible standpoint, he plays with a really high motor. He loves football. He's very passionate about the game. But, the other thing I think gets lost with Aiden is, a lot of people, when you talk about pass rushers, obviously you're talking about sacks. And he had a lot of them, and he was very productive as a rusher last year. But I think what gets lost is how effective he is in the run game. It's a 3-down league, and, I think what he does in the run game kind of gets overlooked, but in a good way because of all sacks. But, obviously we had all those guys kind of graded evenly, and he was one of them. It's always great to get, if you want to call him the hometown favorite, but I know there's a lot of fanfare for Aiden, and his ability to, stay home, and hopefully be, not only a productive player for a football team, but I know that he'll make his mark in this community. He already has, so it's only gonna continue to trend up, from here. But congrats to Aiden. I'm happy for him. We're thrilled about what he's going to bring to our organization, and but you hit it. It's going to be big in the community for him.
That was the newest Detroit Lion on display. And joining me now to talk more about the number 2 overall pick from round 1 and number 12 overall is TJ Lang, Pro Bowler, former Detroit Lion. TJ, first off the bat, how would you grade round 1 for the Detroit Lions last night?
A+. A+ for every team. Every team always gets their highest rated player in the first round, if you haven't seen. But no, I think, look, there's an argument to be made that, they could have come out of that first round with the best defensive player and the best offensive player, right? I know Jameson Williams obviously coming off the tough injury in the national championship game, but if he's healthy, I mean, he's probably a top 5 pick. So I think at worst, you came away with 2 of the top 5 talents in the whole draft. And like Brad Holmes talked about, a couple months ago, that number 2 pick specifically, you need a guy that's going to come in, be a day 1 starter, be an impact player, and a guy that's going to contribute right off the bat. And I think that's really what they got with Aiden Hutchinson. Now, Jameson Williams, time will tell his recovery process to see when he gets on the field. I'm sure they won't rush any of that. But Aidan is that guy that's going to come in and really be a difference maker on the defensive line.
Okay, Aidan went at number 2 overall, and I had the chance to speak with him in Las Vegas last night. He really had no idea where he was going in this draft, even the day of. So what were the rumblings, TJ, that you heard about what Detroit was going to do with number 2 overall?
Well, it got kind of weird a few days, before that, maybe Monday, Tuesday, when all of a sudden, Trayvon Walker was the favorite to go number 1. And I think even Trayvon Walker said he had no idea until he got the phone call last night from Jacksonville that he was going number 1. So it was really kind of a unique draft in the sense that the first time in maybe, 8, 9, 10 years, nobody really knew who the top 1, 2, 3 players were going to be off the board. When it all said and done, I don't think there's any surprise. Obviously, with the pass rushers going 3 of the first 5 picks, that just seemed to be the strength of this draft class. But no, I think Aidan, look, everybody always says, when they get drafted, how happy they were and I wanted to be here and all this. I think it's genuine with Aidan, though. Obviously, he's a hometown kid, grew up here his whole life, played college ball right down the freeway, and he knows what the Detroit Lions organization is and what they are trying to become. And I think the exciting part for him is that, he gets a chance to do something special, which is turn around an organization that just hasn't been good enough the past few years. So I know he's excited to be a big part of that rebuild on the defensive side. And just watching Brad Holmes talk last night and Dan Campbell talk, I mean, they could hardly hold their excitement. Those guys were pumped. They definitely got their guy at number 2.
I know you've been keeping tabs on that Michigan team and Aiden Hutchinson over the years, and this is purely based off your great Twitter page, TJ. So what is the immediate impact you see Aidan coming in and having on this Detroit defense from day 1?
Well, number 1 is the pass rush. I think clearly that was the biggest weakness on the defense, maybe the whole team last year, where the couple close games that they found themselves in that they couldn't find the win was late in the games, you couldn't find a way to get to the quarterback, right? Minnesota, the first time you played, the Baltimore game, Chicago, when they played at Ford Field, that you couldn't find a way to get that finisher off the edge to get to the quarterback, make that big play, maybe make that big strip sack and seal up a win. So that's going to be the first thing that I think Aidan is really going to add to that defense, is finding a way to get in the backfield and be disruptive. Charles Harris had a nice year last year as a third down type guy. Hopefully Romeo Okwara comes back fully healthy and is ready for another good year. But the one really great thing that I like about Aidan too is nobody's really talking about, a couple of years ago, he played a lot of defensive tackle. He was playing 3 technique. He was playing that 4-eye technique. It's that versatility that adds more to your third down package. If you have Charles Harris on one side, Romeo on the other side, maybe a guy like Julian Okwara who started to flash last year, and Aidan maybe finding a mismatch on the center or either guard, he's a guy you can move around that's going to be able to win. So that's obviously the first need that they have and the most important part of that defense that Aidan is going to help boost. And it's going to benefit a lot of those other guys on that defensive line as well.
This receiving core is definitely getting a boost as well after round 1 last night. How surprising was it that Brad Holmes decided to trade away picks 32, 34, and 66 in order to move up 20 spots to nab wide receiver Jameson Williams there at the 12th overall spot?
I don't think there was much surprise at all with the fact that they packaged those two to move up. There was certainly a debate on, before the pick came in, who was it going to be? A lot of people thought maybe Kyle Hamilton. A lot of people maybe thought Jordan Davis from Georgia continue to beef up that defensive line. But look, I think it comes down to the fact that Jameson Williams is a top 5 player in this draft. And arguably the best receiver. And you see a guy like that starting to fall. And there were a couple receivers that started getting taken right away. Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, all those guys started going. And I think Brad Holmes made an aggressive move to go up and get his guy. And I think, you know what, for me, you find a way to take that 32nd pick that couldn't have been any worse in the Matthew Stafford trade, and you found a way to turn that into a positive by moving that, packaging that to get back up in the draft and take one of the best playmakers in all the draft. I think it was a great move, and obviously time will tell, like it always does with rookies. But Jameson Williams, I got to tell you, I mean, he that national championship game before he gets hurt, 4 catches for 65 yards in the first half, and then he gets hurt, and Alabama really couldn't do much. And that's against Alabama, who seems to have 11 players in the first round on the defensive side of the ball. Everybody on that defense is a really good player. So Jameson Williams is just that dynamic player that, like you said, can take the top off the defense, and it's really going to benefit everybody else. Most importantly, I think TJ Hawkinson, he's going to start getting a little bit less of that triple double coverage over the middle of the field because you have speedsters on the outside that can go catch the deep ball as well.
You mentioned speedster. TJ, from your point of view as a former offensive lineman, when you know that a receiver can hit about 23 miles per hour downfield, what does your mind automatically go to?
We better hold on to our blocks. That's what it tells you. Especially, when you're in the huddle and you hear a specific play call, maybe it's a play action pass, you're taking a shot. You have a guy on the outside like that, if you do your end of you hold up your end and the blocking's there, you're going to make some big plays. I had the pleasure of doing it in Green Bay for a long time with Jordan Nelson, was so good going down the field. And we knew when that play call came in, we're like, okay, guys, we might have to block for 4, 5, 6 seconds, but it's going to be a touchdown. It's going to be a home run play. And that's just the type of dynamic that a player like Jameson Williams adds.
Here for night 2 of the NFL draft, Lions with 2 picks now tonight, 46 in the second round and then 97 in the third round tonight. Which side of the ball do you think they're going to be focusing on the most?
I still think defense. I think there's still some good depth at the safety position, and more importantly for this defense, probably the inside linebacker position. I think there's still a lot of guys that will probably be there at least 46 that they're going to have to take a look at. But look, I think it's, if they find a way to even package something else to maybe garner a few more picks in the 3rd, 4th round, I still think there's a lot of value that's left in the rest of this draft because it's so deep at so many positions. So you're probably going to see another run at some point on offensive linemen and maybe the receivers that are left on the board here in the 2nd round. And hopefully some of those interior defensive guys, whether it's D-tackle, linebacker, or safety, start to fall a little bit at 46, because I still think that's a spot in the draft that you can still find a day 1 starter.
I agree with you. TJ, thank you so much for joining us here on Detroit Lions Live. Coming up next, Jameson Williams is in the building here in Allen Park, and you'll get a chance to hear him. That's coming up next.
Think about it. Life powered by the sun. Envision all the things you do every single day, and then plug it into the sun, because it's a cleaner, greener way. It's a pink way to bring energy into your home, into your everyday life. It's about making a difference for a better today and for an even better tomorrow. 'Cause everything is powered by the sun. Pink Energy, proud sponsor of Planet Earth.
Dan and I have always said, you can call us the land of opportunity. We don't care where you come from. We don't care where you got drafted. We don't care about any of that. If you step in this building, you got an opportunity to compete.
I am Pinky. Call 877-4-GO-PINK to get USA solar panels and a Generac home battery for $0 down and a $2,500 or more clean energy bonus. Pink Energy, proud sponsor of Planet Earth.
Think about it.
Now joined by wide receiver Jameson Williams. Jameson, you step off the plane into Detroit. You arrive here at the facility. What are your first impressions of the staff that you got to meet, and then the facility as well?
I'm just excited to get the chance to meet everybody, see some faces. It's been a good time so far, but I actually forgot the second question.
You're good. Just your impressions of the facility, too, as well, arriving in Detroit. I know you're familiar with Michigan, but Detroit.
Yeah, the facilities and everything is good, too. I've been seeing some stuff. Bama had a great facility, and this looks familiar, so some things that can get me right, help get right, food, nutrition, just everything, really. I've seen a lot of stuff, so I'm liking it.
You just held up a Detroit Lions jersey with your last name on the back of it. How much more real does that make all of this feel?
A lot. It's been a long time, a lifetime dream. I'm just here. It's just a start, though.
Your college football career started at Ohio State in the Big Ten, and then you transferred to Alabama in the SEC, where you grew exponentially. How do you begin to explain the growth you experienced on the field and then off the field, if any, as well?
I just feel like the opportunity that was presented was different from in the two places, so the growth maybe came from there, I would say.
I mean, you've been clocked at 23 miles per hour. Where is that speed coming from that you can reach that kind of number?
I don't know. It's just natural speed. Blessed me. Blessed with it. It's just how I run.
Does it feel fast to you? It sounds fast. Does it feel fast?
It's normal though. I don't know.
Who do you most look up to receiver-wise in the NFL that you like to model your game after?
Randy Moss.
Why?
I feel like I play similar to him. Good deep threat, but he can also do everything else too.
We have got to talk about your style. The outfit at draft night was great. You've still got your chain on right now. So how would you describe your overall fashion sense, and can we continue to see that going forward?
Yeah, you can. The fashion is something I just put something into. I just be dressing, but it's just how I dress, really.
Can you break down the chain for us?
It's SG Scully Gang. That's my brand on the face of the earth. So we worldwide. We taking over the world.
I've got to ask, is it heavy? It looks heavy.
A little bit.
Last night, someone asked you at the draft if the Lions had won the draft, or so far round one, by drafting you and Aiden Hutchinson. And with little hesitation, you said, yeah, the Lions won this draft so far. Why do you say that?
First, they draft the best player on offense in the draft, and then they draft the best player on defense in the draft. So that just, the first round won right there. You won both sides of the ball, and that's what you drafted for.
How do you continue to bring the best offensive player that you just called yourself here to Detroit in your professional game?
It's just going to show on the field. When I get back from rehab and everything, making sure everything right, it's just going to show on the field.
Awesome. That's all I got. Perfect.
Jameson, how you doing, man? It's Brad Holmes, GM of Detroit Lions. Hey, man, you ready to be a Lion? All right, well, we trade up in the spot. We're about to pick you right here, man. Hey, come in here, get healthy, take the top off, and be the dog that you are, man. All right? Congratulations, man. All right, man, let me get you on the phone with our head coach, Dan Campbell.
J-Dub. Congratulations, man. Let me tell you something. You know why we love you? Because you're a football player. We love football players, man. You eat it and you sleep it. So, hey, congratulations, all right? Listen, I'm going to pass you to Sheila, okay?
Hey, Jameson, congratulations. This is awesome. Great. Yeah, there's a lot of excitement around here. So we're thrilled. Can't wait for you to get here and get healthy and, rip it up for us. All right. Congratulations. Okay, great.
Brad Holmes had to mix around a couple of different puzzle pieces in order to get that done, snagging Jameson Williams there at 12th overall. Lions slated for that 32nd overall pick. Of course, you got to hear from Jameson Williams, who is in the Detroit Lions practice facility today, getting his tour and getting a feel for the lay of the Detroit Lions practice facility. And Jameson will now be playing for the newest offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, Ben Johnson. We got a chance to catch up with Coach Johnson and also General Manager Brad Holmes about one of the newest Detroit Lions.
You know, we kind of, when we saw how it was unfolding and we saw that we had a chance to possibly acquire Jameson, then, you know, we were pretty set on going up and getting him. And again, it's not just, it wasn't going up to get a wide receiver, it was going up to get him. If you have, you know, a player that's, you know, at an elite, you know, skill set, and you're not sure if you're going to get that kind of skill set, you know, back where you're at, then that's when you start making plans. And I've always told you guys, you know, if we have the conviction, we have the aggressive and go get that player. So that's what we did. I already said there's not a lot of them, but, you know, fortunately Jameson was one of them.
I think teams, when he gets healthy, they will realize where he's at on the field. And that's what we're excited about, because that's going to do nothing but open up our run game and the opportunity for all of our other skill players. So this is a guy that can stretch the field deep without any sweat. He is electric. He's got juice. Once he gets healthy, we're going to have something to cook with.
It was a while that, you know, with Jameson, kind of seeing the more and more conviction that we had on him, the more and more buy-in that we had on him, and then everything that he brings, you know, obviously we all know he's explosive, he can take the top off, speed, all that kind of stuff. You know, I think what gets overlooked, just like I was saying about Aidan with the run game stuff, I think what gets overlooked about Jameson is usually guys that are that explosive, that fast, that electrifying. This guy's tough. This guy's gritty. He's a dog. He loves football.
This is a guy that he shows up on offense, making plays left and right. He's running routes full speed, whether he's involved with the play or not. But then you turn on the next clip, and all of a sudden it's a special teams play where he is an absolute animal. Whether it's a gunner, I'll let Coach Phip talk about that, but he's making a plays as gunner. He just loves the game. And that's what we're looking to bring into this building, are passionate guys, because if you're passionate and you have talent, we got something to work with.
And so he just fit what we're about. So once the conviction and the buy-in just kept rising, you know, then I started saying, okay, all right, well, maybe, you know, being that he is one of those guys that we have graded similarly and very evenly up at the top, let's just go ahead and get him. I told you guys I wanted to get game changers. We do think that Jameson has those abilities in him.
Yes, he has that kind of game-changing ability. I don't know how much the ACL really affected his draft stock, but I do know that he is a top-tier talent in this draft. And I know that this is a guy that we as an offensive staff, as a coaching staff, as a personnel staff, as an organization, we felt very, very good about, and what he can do not only for our offense, but for the entire team.
I think Jameson is going to carve out his own role and be his own player. In terms of the speed question, he was the best. He was the number one, you know, from the information that we have amongst all the receivers. That's pretty evident. But, you know, when you start looking at amongst the draft, he was the fastest. So we felt really, really good about guy that got rare speed.
life powered by the sun. With Pink Energy, all the things you do every single day can be plugged into the sun. It's a cleaner, greener, pink way to bring energy into your home. Just call 877-4-GO-PINK and get USA solar panels and a Generac home battery for $0 down and get paid a $2,500 or more clean energy bonus after install.
Everything is powered by the sun.
Pink Energy, proud sponsor of Planet Earth.
Welcome back inside the studio. Dannie Rogers joined along some DetroitLions.com writers, Mike O'Hara, Tim Twentyman. Before we get to your initial reaction to round one of the NFL draft, we have to play the GM reminder. So QR code was on the screen, but you can put on your general manager hat where you can answer some questions. We're going to reveal the answers here coming up really soon. There it is in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Scan that QR code and 5 questions will pop up. I know you guys did it last night. I know there's really good turnout of results, so scan that so we can get some more answers revealed here in a few minutes. Tim, Mike, round one is done, night one is done, so I need to know your initial reactions after Detroit Lions drafted Aiden Hutchinson, number 2, and Jameson Williams at number 12.
Well, Jameson Williams, that was an aggressive move, and what it told me, because I think wide receiver, I mean, they're in pretty good shape right now, but good enough is not good enough for Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. I thought they had a chance to really ring the bell, and they did. They took it, and they did it, and I like that.
Well, and you just look at what the receiver market is doing around the league.
Too.
I mean, it's gotten crazy with some of these numbers. I mean, guys commanding $20, $25 million. And so now you get what Brad Holmes thinks is probably the best wide receiver in this class. You get him on a rookie deal. You get a talented guy. You secure his services for that 5th-year option as well. And so I think you solidified your wide receiver core. And when we talk about Aiden, we talked about this leading up to the draft, Danny. It just checks all the boxes, right? I mean, between position versatility, between a motor that never quits, production, character, he wanted to be here, and it was just a perfect fit of best player available on their board at a position of need. It just was a marriage made.
Mm-hmm. And I think he's the type of kid who have played wherever he was drafted, but this is where he preferred, and I'm not sure he's going to play better, but he's the kind of kid you want.
I feel like there has to be some kind of, maybe a little added pressure, being from the Detroit area, coming to play for the Detroit Lions, where this team, this franchise, is really trying to elevate culture and just this team's performance in general.
Well, I think when you step into Ford Field, that first preseason game and even that first regular season game, you are going to see a lot of Aiden Hutchinson jerseys. I think 97 is available. So, obviously it's a name Lions fans locally know. He grew up in Plymouth, played down the street, wore the winged helmet. But yeah, I think pressure is what you make of it. I mean, I think I thought he had a great comment when he said, I'm just going to come in and put my head down and work. Look, I'm a rookie. And he's got some veteran guys in that room with Charles Harris and Romeo Quar and some of the guys there. And so I just think he's got the right mindset, and just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just go do what you've done your whole life. It's just football. Everybody's just a little bit faster, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, but it's still football, and he's done that his whole life. Don't overthink it, just go play ball.
Yeah, and I think it was nice when he said, look, I'm just going to be quiet. Like Tim said, I'm a rookie. I'm just going to be quiet. And I think that's pretty good. He can't come in and try and take over, and I'm going to be the leader of this unit. No. There's some veteran guys that have been here a long time. Let them do that.
Yeah, I mean, taking a look at his college career there at Michigan, he made himself there early on. Then he had that injury that sidelined him for most of his junior year. He comes back senior year. And similar to Jameson Williams, who we will talk about, the numbers jump off the page. How much did Aiden Hutchinson play his way into that number 2 overall spot, along with his combine performance? You just saw another little nugget. He had the fastest 3-cone drill time ever by his position at the combine as well.
Well, production is production, right? I mean, when you got 14 sacks and whatever the tackles, I think it was 17, 18 tackles for loss, and you're the Heisman Trophy runner-up. And, I thought something that was interesting that Aaron Glenn said is when he was leading up to the draft, he went back and looked at Aiden Hutchinson's freshman year. Yeah. And he saw him play, and that's when Aiden played inside. He played a lot of 3 technique his freshman year at Michigan. He said, that really popped out to me. It's like, we can use this kid in a lot of different ways. And you see it right there in the highlights, right? The bull rush. And there's just a swing move inside and playing the run. That's another thing he does really well, which is a prerequisite to play for Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn. You've got to be able to play the run. But he's just got an advanced kind of a toolbox of pass rush moves. I think more advanced than any other pass rusher in this draft. And he's just a guy to me that just fits everything. He's got position versatility. The Lions are going from a 3-4 to a 4-3. So here's a guy now that can probably play anywhere from the 3 technique all the way out to the 9. And boy, you really do some things defensively with that. You can put Charles Harris and Romeo Okwara outside and put Aidan at the 3 tech and just have different combinations and do different things with him. And that's why I think he just fits. And that's why when Aaron Glenn walked into that media room last night after the Lions took Aidan at number 2, he had a big old smile on his face. And why not? Because I think he got an elite player that's going to help this defense.
Yeah, and I also think he has hand movements, which are really important, both for an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, but he's got that. And what I think, and I think probably other players saw this too, that he had his biggest games in the biggest moments. Yeah. Michigan State, Ohio State, which really is one of the biggest sports rivalries in America, regardless of any sport. He had 3 sacks, a big game against Penn State when they're trying to close the deal going down the stretch. He had 3 sacks. So when you play your best at the biggest moment, other guys see that too, and they go, we want that guy.
I think that's exactly what Detroit Lions said as well. And then, later in the night, not much farther down the line, Detroit Lions decide they want to climb up to number 12 overall to get Jameson Williams, the wide receiver out of Alabama, once an Ohio State wide receiver who was in that receiving core that was incredibly deep. He saw his former teammates go right before him in this draft, and then Williams goes on to Alabama, and I keep saying this, he explodes off the page in terms of stats at Alabama. What did you see out of his game in that 1 year in the SEC that led him to 12th overall here in the draft?
Well, just to mention the word that Tim just said a little well, production.
Yeah.
You know, he had 79 receptions, 19.9 yards per catch, and 15 touchdowns. And look, he got hurt at the most inopportune moment in the national championship game. But this is a big-time ball player. And look, we saw the highlights and all that. Can he run? I mean, that's what I like. He can take the top off, but he doesn't have to. He can do it. He can split the seam and do it too. It doesn't just have to be a basket catch behind the coverage.
Big play in a bottle. That's what he is. Yeah. And it's funny, in his press conference, in our introductory press conference here in Allen Park, I asked him, you couldn't run the 40, obviously, because of the knee injury, but if you could have, what would you have run? He said, I would have set the record.
How casually did he say that?
He said it very casually.
He said the fastest, and you said ever. He said ever.
Ever. Yeah. But, I mean, to me, it's the 19.9. That's what sticks out to me. 4 touchdowns, Danny, of 70-plus yards this past season.
And that
led all Division I wide receivers.
Yes.
11 touchdowns of 30-plus yards. Also led all Division I wide receivers. He returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns. It's just big play. And when you talk to Ben Johnson, I know you had the interview with him before us, is that's what he was looking for. When we talked to him this spring, it was, we need that X guy. We need that guy that can dictate coverage, shift coverage on the outside, open things up for Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown and TJ Hawkinson in the middle. And I'll tell you what, if you're a defense and you don't put a safety over Jameson Williams, good luck.
Well, I think I'm going to establish the over/under on shoestring tackles at 0. Because once he gets, you're not going to get him. And so just wave goodbye, save your time.
And when that will be, I think the nice thing about getting DJ Chark in the offseason too is that, there's a guy that's a proven guy that can also play that X. So you don't have to rush Jameson Williams back. Obviously tore his ACL in the national championship game. He insists he's going to be ready by training camp. We'll see. ACLs aren't what they used to be, but you don't have to rush him either because you got guys in that receiver core that can make plays. You return to Josh Reynolds, DJ Chark, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond made plays. You've got guys, and so you can take your time, and when he's going to be the player that you think, and the reason why you drafted him at 12, when he's that guy, when he's the guy that you're seeing on the screen right now, gain that separation and take the top off of defense, that's just going to add something really explosive to this Lions offense. And like Aaron Glenn was about Aiden Hutchinson, Ben Johnson's got to be ecstatic about getting a guy like this. Look at that guy fly. Nope, you ain't going to catch him.
Oh, my God.
Well, and he doesn't have to be behind. He can outrun guys, get to the corner like that and split and go. And to me, that's a really valuable addition. One thing about DJ Chark, he's got a Pro Bowl on his resume. And guys, he plays a similar game to what he does. I think that's to have a guy who's sort of a model of what you want to become as a pro. I think that's going to help him.
Now imagine you have Jameson Williams on one side, DJ Chark on the other. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot. You've got TJ Hawkinson on the other side. On the line of scrimmage, you've got DeAndre Swift in the backfield.
And then you have the offensive line up front there for him.
Good luck.
It looks pretty right now on paper.
It does, and you've got an offensive line. I think that's a good point by you, Danny, that could be top 5 in the league, that could protect all this and set it up. And now you've got a run game that was much improved, the best run game they've had since 1998. So you start to run the football a little bit. Boom, now you're Jared Goff. You set up all this play action with all their weapons. It should be really fun to watch when everybody's back and this offense is clicking. You've got a great young mind in Ben Johnson who showed the second half of last season that he can put guys in the right positions to make plays.
I just can't imagine how excited Coach Johnson is right now with these offensive weapons. Okay, tonight starts night 2 of the NFL draft. You got rounds 2 and 3. Detroit Lions with 2 picks coming up tonight, barring any trades. We'll see. You just never know. Second round, they've got pick number 46 overall, and then third round, they have the 97th pick. So where do you two see the Detroit Lions going with those 2 tonight?
I would say linebacker, really, and I'm not sure. But look, will somebody get the Kobe Dean a job?
Get him off the board.
Please, just get him. Just make him the 33rd pick, and then we'll figure out where he goes later, no matter what. But I think linebacker would be a good place for the Lions to look. Now, there depends on what flows to them, but that's where I would start.
Well, I think you always have to trust your board, too.
Sure.
I mean, you can't just say, I need a linebacker, but, hey, there's this many guys that are better players. I think you still have to trust your board, and you get the most talented player. If that's an offensive guy, if you're Brad Holmes and that conviction is, look, this is the best player available, I think you still have to do it. Teams get in trouble when they start reaching a little bit for need and not taking best available. But like we talked about with Aiden Hutchinson, if that player is there that's at the top of the board and also fits need, I think, linebacker obviously makes sense. Mike mentioned Kobe Dean out of Georgia. A few other names I'll just throw out there. Chad Muma out of Wyoming, a guy who I thought was really impressive at the Senior Bowl. Christian Harris, Alabama.
Did you two collaborate
He's another
on this?
one there.
No.
And I don't know, do you have this one on there?
No.
Are you going to say
Troy
it?
Anderson,
Oh, he was right there.
Montana
That's
State.
the next one. Look at
Can
us.
you show the paper,
We're on the
Mike?
Same, we're on
Can
the
you show
same
the
page.
paper?
Troy Anderson, look at that.
This is legit right now.
Look at it. We have them.
This is very impressive.
I think we've been working
I think
together
you've
for a
got
little
great
bit too
handwriting.
long, Mike. But
Throw it away. Give us something new, Mike.
Why do you like Troy? Why do you like Troy?
I like him because he's versatile. Their quarterback got hurt at Montana State, and he played quarterback that year and made, was the all-whatever Big Sky Conference quarterback.
Played
I like
safety.
that. He played safety,
And
played running back.
Runs a 4.4. He's just kind of one of those guys, again, we talked about position versatility and guys being able to move around like we talked about with Aidan. There's another guy, too. And at safety, a couple names, just Jalen Petrie, Baylor.
I got it in there.
Jaquan Brisker, another name out of Penn State. There may be 2 safeties that could be interesting there, too. And quarterbacks, just real quickly, Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson and Roger McCreary out of Auburn, I think are 2 names that could fit there at 46 as well. So, look, the Lions got lots of options. And, dare we say a quarterback maybe at some point? I'm not high on it. I don't think they need
either.
it.
Me
I
neither.
certainly wasn't at 2, 32, and 34. But when you talk about mid-second round, when you talk about, especially to me, late third round, now if one of those guys is there and you're looking for a developmental quarterback in the bottom of the third round, that's, to me, more likely a spot, even though I'd still probably go defense, but I'm just throwing it out there so everybody can discuss. We know they like quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't think Mike wants to hear that.
Mike doesn't have anything to throw, so we're okay.
To save time, I'll just agree. Okay? I'm with you.
I want to go back to linebacker Nakobe Dean out of Georgia. Looking at his 2021 stats, 6 sacks, he had 2 interceptions there, even had a touchdown in that junior season with Georgia. Why do you guys like him so much, and why hasn't he come off the draft board yet?
Well, some of it's personality.
Okay.
Some of it's the way he plays. Some of it's the team he plays on. And I think he had a pretty good sack total in this last season. So I think there's a lot to like about it, but there's something missing there.
Okay.
Well, and he's undersized, too.
And
I think people look at that a little bit. He's 220 pounds. But like Mike mentioned, and you see it there, he can come off the edge, get after people. And to me, what I love about him, and what I think the Lions really need to upgrade a little bit at the linebacker position is he's probably one of the best cover linebackers in this draft. And to me, the ability to cover running backs and tight ends out of the backfield, I thought that was an area the Detroit Lions struggled a little bit last year. We'll see if Derek Barnes going into his second season can be a little bit better. I thought he gave them a little boost there, but they could certainly afford to add a guy the way this NFL is going on third down to be able to cover guys in that medium part of the field and help Detroit's defense that way. But look, he can bring it. He hits hard. He does a lot of different things. He covers, he blitzes. But I think maybe just some worry about his size a little bit. Will he be able to stand up there in the middle? That's maybe one of the reasons why he slipped back a little bit.
Maybe linebacker in general is a little bit of a diminished position right now in a lot of teams too. Just the way they play and with the substitution and the sub packages and all that. I just think it's not quite what it was in the days of Joe Schmidt and guys like that.
Sure.
We're going back 50, 60 years now, which is recent for me.
Well, Mike saw those
like
games live, so he's got the perfect analysis of what it used to be back when Joe Schmidt was playing
That's why
to what
he's
it is
here.
now. That's why we bring him here, because he's got that 50 years of watching football.
What are we talking about?
Tim, you are ruthless right now.
I did not age myself, by the way. I had some help from very bad people.
Oh my God. I want to go back to Christian Watson real quick, the wide receiver out of North Dakota State. This is who I had Detroit grabbing in this one. And the reason is because he's 6'4", and you can catch a lot of balls downfield when you've got height like that. So why is he still on the draft board? Do you see him going to Detroit at all?
Well, the 4.3 speed I would throw in there too.
At the combine, 4.36,
he was really good at the Senior Bowl when we watched him. And look, he played in a Bison offense that was really run heavy. So you see the 43 catches, 800 yards. That doesn't stand out, 7 touchdowns, but you got to put that in a little bit of context. But the 18.6 average, that's what you like, and you're seeing it here, is his ability to go up. Look at that 50-50 ball. And that's what 6'4" that you talked about, Danny. You got a guy that can go up and get it. But, I think one of the things, 16 drops over his college career, I think that's something maybe teams look at. Does he have those just pure hands? That's something, look, you come to Detroit, you're going to get with Amon-Ra St. Brown, you're going to get with Curly Freeman, and you're going to catch 1,000 balls off the jugs machine. I just don't know if the Lions are in a position to go wide receiver again with what they have, with obviously moving up and getting Jameson Williams, one of the best, but with the receivers that we talked about are already on the roster. I just think there's some other areas of this football team you need to concentrate on. Look, it was a 31st ranked scoring defense last year. They were 29th, Mike, against in total defense. They were 28th against the run, 24th against the pass. I just think you need to infuse some talent into that other side of the ball, and I can see Brad Holmes looking for that every day too.
Well, one more thing about Christian Watson too. North Dakota State plays at an offensive advantage throughout the game. They don't take the foot off the pedal, and so you're getting some opportunities against teams that you've really beaten down. So I think it diminishes his statistics just a little bit.
But a great player. And he proved it at the Senior Bowl that was big for him to go up into the Senior Bowl, play against that kind of better competition, and I thought he was the best wide receiver there. So I don't think it'll be too long, Danny, before we hear his name out in the second round.
And last but not least, we have to touch on the quarterbacks in this draft. We've got to do it. Some people say the draft starts finally when a quarterback comes off the board. Only one selected in the first round, Kenny Pickett of Pitt. He stays in Pittsburgh. He's going to play for Mike Tomlin in those Steelers. You've got some other quarterbacks that were mocked to go in the first round, like Matt Corral of Ole Miss, Malik Willis of Liberty. What are you seeing out of those two quarterbacks? Where do you think they might go, if not to Detroit?
Well, I personally like Malik Willis, and I've had him in 2 of my mock drafts, going to the Lions at 32. The thing I liked about him, look, I don't watch Liberty football, to be honest. I don't see much of them play.
You don't, Mike?
Well, I'm going to start watching.
Come on.
But one thing I liked about him, I watched his pro day, and it was about 20 minutes. I mean, Tim, you watched it too, I think. About 20 minutes of throwing the ball, and you did watch it.
I did.
It looked nice.
Okay.
We watched it together, Mike.
Duh, of course you guys did.
And so anyway.
Oh boy, here we go.
I thought I sent you out for a burger. But anyway, the thing about it, what I liked was he just had the smile on his face. The moment wasn't too big for him. He looked like he was enjoying himself. And that's the kind of young man I'd like to, who could run a huddle. I think that showed something. Doesn't show everything, but it showed something, and I like that.
I agree.
And I think there's holes in all these guys' games. It's just why they weren't first-round draft picks. It's why they weren't mocked to be top 10 guys. Obviously, when you talk about Malik, the athletic traits, the skill set is all there, but played at a small-time school at Liberty, was sacked 51 times at Liberty. That's something that jumped out to me. To me, that tells me, boy, you're a one-read guy, and then if it's not there, I'm taking off.
Yeah.
I'm not going through. You know, maybe there were some other factors there, his offensive line or whatever, but that was one thing that jumped out at me. But look, you can see it there when he does get out into space and clears that defensive line. The arm talent's there, the legs are there. I just think he's a little bit away. I think he's probably a year, maybe even 2. So I think it's got to be the right situation for him to go somewhere where he can learn an offense, learn, you know, how it is to play quarterback in the NFL, learn behind somebody who does it at a high level. And I think in a year or 2, then you're set up. I think Sam Howell's kind of the same way. And you know, Ritter, to me, is a guy that can probably come in and play a little bit sooner. But again, there's some holes in his game as well. And so I think that was just the deal with this quarterback class last year. There just wasn't a clean prospect like we've seen a Joe Burrow or Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
You know, a guy, these guys weren't that type of guy.
Yeah.
Not to say they can't be great NFL quarterbacks, but I think they're just going to take a little bit of time, and you got to find the perfect situation.
And I'd just like to add one other thing, too. It was really, for him, it was for Malik Willis, it was a supply and demand issue, because once you got past Pittsburgh at 20, those last 12 teams, you're talking about playoff teams with veteran quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks. Those teams weren't looking for quarterbacks. Didn't need one. And so it's not just all the quarterbacks paid the price, not just Malik.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if there's a little bit of a run on the quarterbacks here in day 2. I don't know if that's going to be round 2 or round 3, but once one goes...
You mean one per round until they're all gone?
No, I think there'll be a little bit more of a run than that. I wouldn't be surprised if we three or four guys maybe go tonight.
Aha, okay, that is coming up really soon. We're almost closing this thing out, but we got to go back to the trivia question here so we can reveal the answer to you. The question was, when was the last time the Lions took a wide receiver in the first round of the NFL draft, and who was it?
Go ahead. I think you'll feel great about yourself getting this one.
I forget. No.
He's ruthless. I'm so sorry for you, Mike. Can you come sit by me and watch the draft?
Can I spell it, or do I have to say it?
No, whatever.
Calvin Johnson,
Yes.
number 87 in 2007.
Yeah, that
Great
was
pick
it.
by the Detroit Lions. Second overall.
That was a minute ago.
It was.
Yeah. So
Great
another
play.
first rounder.
Hall of Fame. One of my faves.
One
It's
of your
been a
faves?
while.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
No pressure on Jameson.
No pressure.
That's a Hall of Fame guy there. But
You've got 15 years to make the Hall of Fame. Take your time.
You're right. Okay, we've also got to get to those Play GM results. I wish I was here in studio with you guys last night to really see all of them and get a good feel for them. But first question, which side of the ball would you select at number 46 overall? The people said defense, and I think they're probably going to be right on this one. 78% said defense, 22% said offense tonight for that first pick from the Lions. So
no question. Next.
Yeah. Next one. Oh my gosh, which position would you select at number 46 overall? Which position? Linebacker. It's like they're listening to the show and like actually paying attention to these experts.
I stole the tape.
I know. That's why we've got to talk about the quarterbacks. The people still love the quarterbacks. Defensive backs coming in behind that. Which side of the ball would you select at number 97 overall there in the third round? Defense again. Defense might be the winner today.
Check.
Well, I think most fans think the Lions need defense.
I mean,
you could ask them just.
Number 2 overall pick was the defense. There's little importance there right now. Which position would you select at number 97 overall? Defensive back is taking the cake. So they think linebacker in second round, defensive back in the third round. I like what they did there.
Yeah, safety corner.
Yeah.
They could use one.
And then last but not least, who is your favorite round 2 pick in Lions history? Mike, you go first. What's yours?
My favorite round 2.
We've got some options. Jason Hansen, Chris Spielman, Kevin Glover, or Len Barney.
Well,
it's
a tie, Chris Spielman and Kevin Glover.
I dare you to go tell Chris Spielman down the hallway that it's a tie.
No, you tell him.
I'm not telling. I'd
Put
be
a
comfortable
note under
telling
his
him.
door.
Well, you know I'm telling him.
You tell him.
So am I.
Tim, who you got?
Chris.
Okay, yeah.
Chris, yeah.
We have our own little podcast together. I have to go with Chris Spielman, so he just rocks. Okay, that is it from us here in the Allen Park studio. We are wrapping up our night 2 draft show because the draft is about to kick off any second. We are so pumped to see the newest Detroit Lions, who Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are going to select to come on down to Allen Park. So thank you so much to those watching at home for tuning in to Detroit Lions Live. We will see you again next time.
Think about it. Life powered by the sun. Envision all the things you do every single day, and then plug it into the sun. Because it's a cleaner, greener way. It's a pink way to bring energy into your home, into your everyday life. It's about making a difference for a better today and for an even better tomorrow.
'Cause everything powered by the sun.
Pink Energy, proud sponsor of Planet Earth.
Dan and I have always said, you know, you can call us the land of opportunity. We don't care where you come from. We don't care where you got drafted. We don't care about any of that. If you step in this building, you got an opportunity to compete.
I am Pinky. Call 877-4-GO-PINK to get USA solar panels and a Generac home battery for $0 and a $2,500 or more clean energy bonus. Pink Energy, proud sponsor of Planet Earth.